Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 17. It's called Identity and Change. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So we're still in the framework, we're still in the digital world that has been created by Ada. She's Madame Hydra, Fitz is her second in command, and is like super evil. Coulson has some memories, but it wasn't all the memories, because that was how the last episode ended, was
Yeah.
him saying the name Daisy, implying that he could remember stuff, but he's still not quite him. He's still the teacher. He's actually kind of a weird conspiracy theorist, actually, who makes his own soap,
Yeah.
as we've learned in this one. So that led to some amusement. But so I think the big thing in this one, at least off the bat, is that we got to meet the other characters who we didn't get last week.
Yeah.
We got
It's
Mac, we got
important that we
Mace.
got them now.
Perhaps the most important thing, though, is that this show has now made 2 Chopping Mall references this season, which is...
I know, it's fantastic, isn't it? I got quite excited when that got brought up.
That's 2 more than any other show ever.
Probably true. I mean, someone please fact check us on that, but
You know what, I'll buy that maybe some show at some point that I just don't know about maybe reference Chopping Mall, but I highly doubt that it became a plot point. Because this was meant to be a thing of recognition. This was like, oh, Mac likes Chopping Mall. Now his daughter likes Chopping Mall. Hey, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
This was a little character thing.
it was. It was an actual like important thing.
We're supposed to remember that he likes Chopping Mall. It's a plot thing. My cats are chasing each other, in case you're wondering what that noise is. They're not happy. We've changed their food, and they're grumpy. So apologies for the extra noises
Right on cue.
as they run around. But yeah, Chopping Mall. So we see Mac. We meet his daughter. We see his daughter's just as good a little sort of tech wizard that he is, sort of engineering.
Yes.
We get a little we get a sort of typical Hydra checking IDs at the bus stop kind of moment as well, and we sort of tease that they might be in trouble. And eventually they are, although it seems that they're only in trouble because Ada's smart enough to know that they can use him to trick Sky.
Yes, it certainly seems that way.
Yeah, because May takes Sky to go and get him, and then she uses Mac to trick Sky into... Because Mac does this whole thing where he says, you're Daisy, and I'm Mac, and we're S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. But it's all just stuff he's been told to say, so that they
It
can
was
trick
so blatant as well. As soon as he said it, and she just went straight in like, "Oh my god, you remember?" I was like, "You dumb bitch."
her. Yeah, shut up, stop it. But... So we actually, it leads to some badass stuff though. I actually kind of like. I mean, she doesn't quite get out, but Sky gets quite far out of that building. Like
Yeah,
she gets stopped eventually, but she takes out a lot of agents on the way. That
Yeah,
badass bit in
the elevator.
the elevator was pretty
Yeah.
cool in particular.
Was. I like how as well, like, because we know what she's capable of. We've even
Yeah.
without her powers, we've seen many times at this point. But when you see it's May going after her, it's like, oh, that's someone that she might not be able to take.
I'm still waiting on her getting re-terrigenized.
Is that how what we're calling it?
Yes, that's what I'm
Alright,
calling
fair
it.
enough.
So we meet Mace as well. Mace is the head of the Resistance. He is known as the Patriot in this world. So we meet him. He's very skeptical of everything, but he trusts Ward of all people. So,
It's the ultimate irony, isn't it?
but we see he's got a bit of infrastructure. They've stole a plane. So the obvious thing that you would expect Simmons and Co to do is try and find Radcliffe, because he might actually be able to help with what's going on. He helped build this place. He knows what's happening.
Coulson basically brings it up, and they were like, "Oh, hey, Radcliffe's in here too."
Yeah, and so Ward, Simmons, and Coulson go after Radcliffe, and they go to essentially a place that shouldn't exist near the Bermuda Triangle, which I thought was a funny place to hide someone.
Yeah.
If you're going to add a hiding place to
Where
for
else?
somewhere in the world, yeah, go with the Bermuda Triangle. But they go there. Agnes is there as well, of course, and I think it was just kind of refreshing for a scene to have someone else who knew that this was not the real world.
Yeah, because it just played completely different to everything else we've seen in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, when Ada's talking to Fitz and she's talking about, oh, she's from the other place, and but obviously she's massaging the truth. She's like, oh, I was a slave there. S.H.I.E.L.D. won the war. It was awful. It was horrible. And but they show up, and it's refreshing to hear him talk about the real place, and he starts talking about the framework, and he's in words delightfully confused the entire time. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? What's this framework?
Yeah.
What's everyone going on about? But it all leads to this big emotional thing when Madame Hydra, I suppose I should call that, but it's Ada, and Fitz show up, and our team hide, but Radcliffe's still there, and he tries talking them down, but Fitz eventually pulls a gun on Agnes and goes proper evil. And Simmons is seeing all this, and we get this big emotional moment where Radcliffe's trying to convince Fitz of who he was, and like, oh, we used to watch football together, we used to do this, you're like a son to me. And Fitz, and I knew which way this was going. It's too early for him to be good. And like I said last week, he's going to be the hardest one to turn.
Oh, absolutely. He's the closest to Ada.
Yeah, he's going to be the hardest one to turn. So at this stage in the story, this is no. We are reasserting the fact that he's an evil bastard here.
It was the only way it could play that made sense, but still hits hard.
So he shoots Agnes, and Agnes is dead. So she's got it. So Radcliffe's not in the best of moods. He's been tortured at S.H.I.E.L.D, as is Skye, who is also captive in S.H.I.E.L.D. Fitz is aware that she is a potential inhuman.
Yep.
She tries to plead with him a bit again. This is the sort of the post-credit scene, if you will. And Fitz is like, "No, I do want to do this."
Just again, like we just saw him shoot someone, but nah, he's evil.
Yeah, proper evil. I think what I liked about this episode, probably the heart of the episode, is Mac, because Mac is very good with his daughter. His daughter's actually a decent little actress as well, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
They had really good chemistry, and when he sees Skye like all beat up and bloodied after she's captured, and then he shows up again at the end at the S.H.I.E.L.D. base, and he's like, I couldn't look my daughter in the eye. I need to help. Like the idea that Mac is still a good person in here is actually kind of relieving. Like, Coulson's a bad guy,
has to be.
But Coulson's still very different from what he is.
He was willfully ignorant, perhaps.
Well, it sounds like he was a conspiracy theorist. He was just hiding it because he knew he would get in trouble.
Yeah, but he still went along with everything. You know, he didn't do anything. He didn't instill to his pupils any other messages.
Oh, sure, but I wouldn't call it ignorant. I'd call it something different. I'd say it's more scared. He's more of a pussy, basically.
Yeah, okay. I just mean in the sense that Mac, while he still follows the rules, he's kind of very aware, and he's kind of teaching his daughter that no, the Inhumans are they're just people.
Oh, sure, but I just think ignorant is the wrong word. I don't think. I think we learned in this episode that he's clearly not ignorant. It's just a case of he's too scared by the system to stand up. Like he didn't have that courage. It's almost like this place has made him weak because he was strong.
Yeah.
Whereas Max kind of went unnoticed, and Max stayed kind of the same. He's kind of the same integrity. He's the same person to an extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mac having this kind of... It was the one hopeful thing in the episode. And an episode that was really dark and kind of... Everyone just kept getting put to their worst and worst point. Simmons see Fitz be this awful, and she has to like convince him. And you almost get lured into like a bluff where you think maybe he remembers something when she screams out. And he sees her.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Because they keep teasing it. Because they keep teasing it throughout the episode. Because Ada's not letting him see the picture. And then
just in case.
Yeah, and then she lets him see the picture, and it's like, oh, does it? It's like, oh, no, it doesn't. And then later on, she comes out of the office, and he's looking at her again, and you think, oh, wait, is he remembering something? It's like, no, she's really dead, and he's actually just digging. He's been more of a fascist, basically.
Yeah,
and digging.
So on that, there, I thought the show was even more playing into the Nazi state elements this week.
Oh,
yeah, they were present last week, of course, but this week, like I said, you had the spot check inspection of the IDs. There was all sorts in this way. You know, calling out the fake news.
The parallels to the Nazis with the Jewish population is like there's no mistake in it. It's
no, and they were there last week, but I feel like they were more, in the focus this week.
Yeah. So that was kind of the main gist of the episode. It's almost weird that I feel like there's not as much more to talk about as there was last week, but everything was so new and fresh last week, and we were discovering everything for the first time. This week I feel it was a lot more straightforward, but none of it was wasted. Everything felt like it was pushing the characters to a darker place before we can have the upswing, before we can have the... I mean, we had that one, obviously, moment with Mac, that one bright spot of... My cat is chasing his tail. What the hell are you doing? Stop it.
I thought that was just dogs.
Occasionally cats do it. Occasionally cats. But like he was the one spark of hope where, okay, like, he's really still in there and they can use that. It's almost a shame that Simmons already left the room. Like, I almost wanted to see her reaction to Mac walk in.
Yeah. I think it's what makes us kind of the most similar. He's got more of a spine, and he is the leader he kind of presented himself to be.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he's still kind of the same person in that sense.
So I wonder at what point we get a hunt for Terrigen crystals.
They've got to need when they rescue Sky. They're like, right, we need crystals.
Even if it's before the rescue, though, I can almost see her rescue being because they somehow managed to throw a Terrigen crystal at her, and then that gives her the power to escape.
Oh, okay, I can see it.
Even if it's not them, even if, I don't know, maybe they've got like a storage of them in the base somewhere, and somehow, some way, she gets to one. I
feel like they don't have them yet because they've got all the the room of potentials.
Oh yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. obviously I don't have any.
Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. don't have them yet.
But I'm thinking either they go hunting for them, or somehow Sky comes across them. Like, either she like has another little escape attempt, and she ends up in a different part of the building, and it's like the storage is there, and she gets her hands on some. But I'm looking forward to that moment because it's so coming. I will be disappointed if we don't get a Sky gets her powers in this world moment.
Yeah, disappointed and surprised because it feels like such an obvious beat to play.
It seems like such an obvious fist pump moment to get.
It does.
At some point in this last batch of 5 episodes.
It could be quite late in these 5 though.
It might be quite late. I could see it maybe being the right before the finale. Like, that'll be the cliffhanger leading into the finale. Like, it's alright, we've got a chance now. Like, the fight. That said, what we really need a bit of hope for as well is actually how do we get out? Because right now it seems hopeless. Like, everyone, like, even Radcliffe's like, nah, there's no chance now. Like, you have to go out the way you come in. And it's like, we can. Ada's already messed with that.
He's like, well, then you're screwed.
Yeah, so it feels quite hopeless there. Now, before we wrap up, we should talk a little bit about this alternate reality theory that's going around.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure I'm subscribing to it fully.
I'm not either. There's a few things that maybe line it up, but also there's enough that makes me doubt it.
Don't get me wrong. So the theory is that because Ada was messing with the Darkhold and she was making like portals and stuff for when Ghost Rider was around, that this is actually less of a digital world and more of a bridge to somewhere else.
Yeah, and this is outside of the show. This has been referenced by the fact that the showrunners have said that all the story arcs up till now play into this, and at the minute, that first arc kind of feels a little irrelevant in terms of this grander story.
Yeah, I can kind of just like, to me that doesn't seem like a clue though.
No.
Because to me that just feels like everything's happen's mattered up until this point, and okay, that one's less relevant than the rest, sure, because it's not as personal for most of the team. But like, I don't think that's necessarily a clue. I think the reason why it doesn't quite add up for me is because too much of it being the digital world kind of makes sense. That said, the fact that she's using the Darkhold is probably what's helped her do it in the first place. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I feel like if anything, she might have created an alternate world.
Yeah, because the people are too real. As we said last week with Simmons talking about how they even dream, and she's shocked at how real these people are.
I'm inclined to believe more that Ada created an alternate reality rather than bridging to one that already existed. It feels more like that.
That's fair. It's things like if it is just digital, why did Ada need to put herself in to run it? Could she not do it all from the outside? She's put herself in as Madam Hydra.
Oh, I can explain. Oh, no, I can explain that way. That's. She just wants to be in it. She doesn't want to be out in the real world. I think that's made very clear in this episode. She hated her life out there. Like she felt like a thing. She was used. In here, she's a person. In here,
the way she was treated, sure. But I feel like, would she not still want that world, but to recognize who she is?
Nothing she said in this episode would make me think that.
Fair enough.
She seems full on, like she wants to be this. She doesn't even want to be called Ada. She wants to be in here. And for all we know, she still is going out to the real world. Like, we don't know if she's going out there to do some things. True. I feel like what we're saying in here isn't because she needs to be in here. She's in here because she wants to be in here.
Yeah.
So regardless whether she is jumping out or just staying in here full time, I don't know. But I mean that's a good question. Where does she go when she walks in and fits? Where was she? Like, where does she have to go?
Yeah, yeah.
She's a
And what is it? Fits with a project? Is it called Project Looking Glass?
Yeah, he's working on some mysterious project, which to me it sounds like it's going to close off the connection to the real world. Like she wants to. That's what my guess would be at this point.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. But Looking Glass, you think of Alice in Wonderland, right? And you think like that is this alternate world where everything's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just enough there that makes me go, maybe this is more real than they realize.
Or maybe it's not yet, but she wants it to be. Maybe this project is to make it a real reality.
Yeah, that could be it.
I could see it going that way. But no, I mean, don't get me wrong. I suspect this project will lead to some kind of revelation about what's going on here. That the framework is more than just a Matrix knockoff.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that because the Darkhold was involved in helping create it.
Yeah, I think it is that if the people feel too real, like even in like, the Matrix itself, like in that movie, the people who aren't core characters, they kind of just feel like they're just in the background, they're throwaway. They're not. They don't feel.
That's
like
a weird comparison though, because they actually are real people in that.
They are, but in that they kind of feel like they're just there. Whereas here, every person we've seen, like they have like such like personality. Like even the kid who comes into Coulson's classroom early.
Well, it's a weird comparison because the Matrix just plays it really differently.
Yeah.
Like I don't, because in the Matrix they all feel like that because they're supposed to all feel like that. It's actually out of the ordinary that Neo and others start to feel different things because they're becoming aware that it's all a facade. Sorry. I got trouble in a comment like months ago for saying that word.
Oh, did you?
For saying facade instead of facade. I do apologise. See, I attempt to
you learn.
Take the feedback.
Yeah. But I do think they have shown us so much of that. All these other people feel so overly real that it feels weird for them to just be digital code at this point.
But I don't think she's bridged to another reality, and part of that's because she's had too much control. She's actually affected things. She actually said in this episode she changed her biggest regret. She did that. She enacted changes. So it may be an alternate reality, but I think it's one that has been created from scratch here.
Yes, yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but it definitely feels like a reality rather than just a framework.
But I mean, I guess what it's kind of a blurry line, I suppose, until they actually just say it out loud. Because at what point is it just semantics? Like, can digital become like? Because she kind of became life. She has feelings and wants and needs. So at what point can you just argue that the digital things inside the framework are just as good as she is in terms of
no, that's fair.
Growing a conscience and growing a personality. And although I mean, it's debatable if she has a conscience. I suppose.
Yeah.
Given
we have yet to see any sign of guilt or remorse.
Given that she made herself the leader of Hydra, it's not a sign that she's...
As you do.
Yeah, not a sign that you are the most compassionate person in the world. Oh, dear. But no, it's a solid episode. So looking forward to next week. So let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter, mailed_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters are on the screen for everyday ramblings. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have you got any vanilla?